Hello, English 221. This is your third video on revising Essay 2. And this video focuses on citations. First, a reminder that you have comments on your rough draft in Canvas. You've got comments over here, you've got comments here with the blue pins. And when it comes to citations, I've done my best to let you know when you have an error. So for example, this student puts politifact.org in parentheses, which is not correct. We're using MLA format, and you don't get to decide what you put in parentheses. You have to follow the rules. That's the way it works. So we're going to focus on things like that in our video. In Canvas, if you go to our modules, we have one on citations. And there's various things in here, such as plagiarism, what goes in parentheses, and the works cited page. And let's start with a quick review of plagiarism. So, in this document, you get a definition of plagiarism. I'm not going to go over all this because I don't think most people have this problem. But if you do have plagiarism in your rough draft, I told you. So I strongly suggest that everyone reads this, because this tells you what counts as plagiarism. Also, I have a document called 2 Common Forms of Unintentional Plagiarism. And this is the kind that I see most often in papers because most people don't really want to cheat and make mistakes. So one is just to not give a citation. So a reminder that you must tell the reader where everything is from. Number 2 is using the author's exact words without quotation marks. And even just like 6 words in a row, if you copy those words from your source without putting them in quotation marks, that counts as plagiarism. Because when I read your essay, I'm assuming everything is your words, unless you have a quote. So you can look at these examples here, especially if I told you on your rough draft that you have plagiarism. Definitely study these examples so that you understand what you're doing wrong. Okay, what goes in parentheses? This is important because the main way that you cite in an essay is you put your source in parentheses. So let's look at this Word document here called What Goes in Parentheses in MLA Format. And the main thing is the author's last name. Author's last name goes in parentheses all the time. Not the name of the website, not the name of the article usually. Also, you use page numbers, like in this one right here, Schmo 23. So that means the author's last name is Schmo, and it was from page 23. In this case, I can leave out Schmo because I already told the reader here. What if there is no author listed? Then you put a short version of the article title in quotation marks inside the parentheses like that. Notice that the period comes after the parentheses. So do not put in parentheses URLs like factcheck.org. Do not put names of websites or names of magazines or names of newspapers. PolitiFact, Washington Post, those do not go in parentheses, and do not put book titles. Okay, so review this when you're cleaning up your essay so you know what to do. Next, this is something we haven't talked about this semester. Introduce your sources to the reader. Let's open this one. What I see in the rough drafts is that a lot of people are putting a last name in parentheses, but not really telling me anything else. And so the way it appears to your reader is that you have this random last name in parentheses, but you haven't really told the reader where the information is from. And so you need to tell the reader where stuff is from in your sentences, and certainly before quotes. So I have a bunch of examples here. For example, according to Glenn Kessler of the Washington Post fact checker, blah, blah, blah. And then here's my citation, right? So I'm telling the reader where my information is from. And these are all examples that I made up that I think are relevant to this essay. Why should you do this? To show that you have credible sources. You will have to make your sources look good, to explain clearly where the information is from, and so your reader doesn't think you're quoting some random dude from. Because often what happens is I read a quote and there's a name in parentheses, but you haven't really told me anything else about where that information is from. So it's not very convincing. It just seems like you're quoting somebody and you have no idea who it is. So I want you to consider using in your essay example introductions to the source kind of like these. Notice that I'm telling you who it is before the quote, before I give the information. And you can study these examples and you can even steal the wording from these examples if you want. I tried to think of a variety of ways you might do that and a variety of kinds of information you have. So in your essay, tell your reader where the information is from. And you don't just rely on parentheses. You have to tell your reader in your sentences. So make sure to review this handout before you finish the essay. Back to the module, punctuating titles. I'll let you look at that one on your own. Basically, you put article titles in quotation marks and book titles in italics. Review that if you forget. And then there's how to make the works cited page. And let's see if I have this document. There it is. Okay, so this is basically what you have in your handbook, but I made it a little better. You can copy and paste the citation from the readings list in Canvas. So in Canvas, you go to your SA2 folder, you find your readings list, and where is it? There it is, readings list, and you can copy and paste from there for your works cited. You assigned readings. Let's go back to the citations folder. That's our focus. Back to how to make the works cited. For an article you found on the internet, you need to use easybib.com. And I think most of you have done it before, but I'm going to go to EasyBib briefly just to show you what it looks like. You do have to find your URL for your article, create citations, website. You put in your URL. You can follow the steps. It's not too hard to use. Okay. If you're using an article from Academic Search Complete or the library databases, then you can follow these instructions, but I have a feeling you aren't doing that for this essay. And I did find how to put something on your works cited page from social media. And so you can use that link right there to find it. And let's look at the sample works cited. So notice this first one. This is what you do if you don't have an author. So if you have an article with no author listed, the article title goes first, and it looks like that. So here's a citation from a scholarly journal. Here's a citation from CNN, from a website. Here's another article that doesn't have an author listed, so the article title goes first. Here's an example that I put in here. This one's not in your handbook. This is an example of citing PolitiFact, because a lot of people are using PolitiFact. All PolitiFact articles do have authors. So during the essay, for this one, for example, the author is Litka. It's Litka that'll go in parentheses, right? You won't put PolitiFact in parentheses. And then the article title. And I did try it with EasyBib, and you can make a citation for a PolitiFact article using EasyBib. It looks like that. Here's another example of something from a website. And here's an example I found of a citation of a tweet. So here it is. There's your tweet right there. One more thing I'll show you is that you can find a lot of information about citations at Purdue OWL. You want to look for MLA, of course. MLA Formatting Style Guide. And then you can find what you're looking for down here. About in-text citations, about the works cited page, etc. All right. So going back to Canvas, that is it. Make sure to review everything in here before you finish your essay. Thank you.